Well, it's great to have with us on our AA Quarantine show one of the great former Baysox and Val Majewski, who is joining us today. Val, I'm going to play a song for you here while we get started. Let me get my, we've got updated technology here, obviously. But
all right, let's see it.
Val is the champion of the Baysox March Madness bracket, Adrian. Here, my name is Adam. Adrian's with us, and Val, you had a few great years in Bowie in 2004 and 2007. We want to talk about that in a bit, but congrats on being voted the greatest Baysox ever in our quarantine March Madness tournament. And tell us how you're doing, what you're doing in life right now, and how you're riding out this interesting time.
Sure. Well, first, I appreciate even be considered in that top 64 on that bracket. It was certainly cool just to be nominated in that or be a part of it, and to happen to win the whole thing. Whoever was out there voting for me, I really appreciate it. I can't say just that I was the greatest baseball player ever. There are a lot of great names that came through Baysox history, but just happened to be a part of it, and somehow I pulled that out. So. It was really cool. Added a little bit of excitement and brought back a lot of memories, during this time. But you asked how I was doing, living down here in Austin, Texas, and
Awesome.
I've been working throughout this whole quarantine section. Our business is still considered essential, so we have been in the office this entire time. Just the commute to work has been a lot easier, and if you can see behind me, a lot less cars in our parking lot, which is normally jammed up.
Val, I do want to ask you.
I believe you have a very interesting last name. And I having met you in 2004, I was a camera girl when I first started, videographer. And then when you came back in 2007, I obviously said your name a zillion times and knew how to say it. But what is the worst way someone has said it that you've heard traveling? Give us one or two worst ways, and then please tell us the correct way.
Look, whenever I introduce myself or people try to pronounce my name, I just say I'll take anything close. But I've heard Majewski, Majewski. They try to overpronounce it. Majewski is the most common, just because that's the way it looks. But at winter ball, I was Majewski, and that was pretty funny, especially with the accent. So yeah, Majewski was pretty funny.
It's entertaining, but yeah, I know that's difficult, and you're a great sport about it, but I think it's very important to say the last name correctly, and your name has just been one of the interesting ones over the years.
Just stick with Val. That's the easiest way to just stick with Val.
Here's Val.
So Val, tell us, how important to you were your years with the Baysox, especially that first year in 2004? Dave Tremblay was your manager. How important? I mean, you put up big numbers in Bowie. And how important was that for your career? Because when you play well at the AA level and your way up, it can lead to a long professional career, and you were fortunate enough to have that.
Well, the time in Bowie is extra special both years, but the first one, you don't know what to expect. I mean, you're in a new level. You're progressing as you think you should as a baseball player. You want to advance every year as fast as you can. And, we had a great team that year. And Dave, I love Dave to death. I had a good time with him as well. But you're always been told, or at least I was told, you're one step away, whether you're in AA or AAA, from the big leagues. So, the big league club can pull from either one, and they've done that over the years. All organizations that I played for, have done that. So, not knowing what to expect and it being my first time, 2004 was a little more special, I think, than 2007, just with everything that happened. But awesome times. Made some great friends, great memories, and this whole contest brought all those flooding back. I saw a lot of old pictures, connected with a lot of other people who saw the announcements on social media and reached out to me. So it was really awesome. I mean, I met my wife in 2004 while playing in Bowie. So I've got a lot of personal and professional connections, to that very, very awesome place in my heart and in my mind for Bowie, especially 2004.
Awesome.
Now, I was told by a couple birdies, and I will say two of the birdies to give them credit.
Okay.
Phil Rye, the assistant general manager of
Right.
Baysox, and also Tony DeFina. He is the
Oh,
treasurer
yeah.
of our booster club, a huge supporter of the Baysox, does a lot for the players. And they both told me that you appeared in Veep. So I would really like to hear how that came about, and we'd love to hear the experience on that show.
Okay. Well, first of all, Phil's been a good friend since 2004. Tony, he's very involved, and obviously his seat is probably still right next to the on deck circle on the Baysox side. So, even talking to him before and during games and after games, when we go up into the booster club and you have the meals with the boosters and the host parents and all that. So, love those guys. They've been great supporters of not only the Baysox, but myself personally over the years. So I can't say enough about those guys. I know we don't have a long enough call, but I appreciate them reaching out. Okay. So there's another guy, played professionally with I believe it was with the Orioles too, and some other clubs. His name is Ken Arnold. And he may have been there the first year Bowie may have played there in 94, 6 when Bowie first started. But he is now an actor, and his office and his company, they're in Baltimore. And we were doing some stuff together, trying to do some virtual baseball lessons and other things, talking shop, just connecting. And he's like, hey, I know the casting director for Veep. I can maybe try to get you on there as an extra. So you know what? I was done playing ball. What the heck? I'll see about that. And sure enough, I took some headshots, sent them in, and I'm called in as an extra on the show Veep. I think it was season 2, episode 5. If I get that right, that'd be a miracle. But I think it's season 2, episode 5. I played a Finnish Secret Service agent, and I just stand in the background. I obviously don't say
You got to give that look. I saw the photo.
I've got the earpiece in, and I just got to mean mug it the entire time and not try to laugh because it's a comedy show, and obviously the actor's in there, and I'm a huge Julia Louis-Dreyfus fan from Seinfeld, so I'm trying not to laugh. I'm trying not to act stupid and ruin a scene. That's progressing. So I'm in there biting my lip as hard as I can and trying not to laugh to ruin something as that guy, that one guy in the background. So it was a lot of fun. I was also on an episode, now again, not on an episode, but barely seen, House of Cards. They did an episode in Camden Yards where Kevin Spacey is supposed to throw out the first pitch and the lights go out like right as he's throwing the first pitch. And I was one of the Orioles on the field, which I thought was kind of ironic.
That's incredible. I really like that. Thank you.
No problem.
It makes you think about how, and of course, you talked about in 2004, because you played in Bowie, you went up and played in the big leagues with the Orioles that year. But everybody just thinks about baseball and the connections of baseball, about the game itself, but how baseball has brought you doing so many things and meeting so many people, including your wife, and how big of a part of your life it has even now.
I'm very, very thankful for my baseball career and playing as long as I did. It didn't turn out the exact way I wanted to. Everybody wishes they're still playing until they're 40 years old and they get a 20-year big league career. It can't happen for everybody. But I was extremely grateful for the time that I had. I wouldn't take away a second. I don't have any regrets about my career. I loved every minute of it. But as you mentioned, it's a big world, but it's also a very small world. And the degrees of separation, you talk to anybody and, hey, I know that guy, or this guy was my coach, or we played for this person. And you're connected somewhere the longer you talk to somebody. And it's a very cool brotherhood. You mentioned about connections. I met Ken, who got me that little short experience as an extra. I met my wife. I met a lot of friends along the way through host families or booster clubs, front office folks, people I still keep in touch with today from all the teams and organizations I played with. And then even my boss. I met my boss. He was a volunteer assistant coach with the Round Rock Express. I didn't know he was, senior vice president at a large organization. But we ended up talking. He hired a former teammate of mine, and then I asked him for a job, and that's what brought me down here to Austin. So, my baseball connections have gotten me to where I am today through a lot of different means, and I'm extremely grateful, for that.
Now, Val, you've had the amazing knowledge of playing the game, being behind the game, all scenes of it. So a few years you were back living in the area, and you came into the stadium, and it was pretty amazing. Sat in Adam's chair. It was the year before Adam joined us at the Baysox. He was still in Frederick at the time, and you got to do some color commentary. So I'd love to hear about that from your perspective as being a player and getting to come back and announce.
Well, that's an awesome part. You get to watch a game from a totally different perspective. And that actually started, so it started in 2003, the year before I was playing in Delmarva. And I got hurt. I had a fractured leg. And the radio guy said, hey, I'm doing some TV games, live TV on the local CN8 channel. I don't even know if CN8's still around. But I did some color commentary there. I did some, while I was on the DL, I did some color commentary either on the radio or TV. And it was fun. And I did that a couple other times while I was playing if I was on the injured list. And then I've done that a lot since leaving the game, which has been great. So started in Bowie. That was when they asked me to come back. And hey, if you're willing enough to do this, anytime you're available, we welcome it. So I would just send a text sometimes and be like, hey, I'm available tonight. Do you need me? And drive over to the stadium after giving a couple lessons or whatever, and come on in and talk ball. I mean, it's probably for me the easiest and most fun thing I can do besides playing, because I get to watch it from a great perspective, great seat, and I just comment on what's going on. I mean, I do that anyway if I'm watching a baseball game at home. So this was fun. And if people are actually interested in what I had to say, then I guess I did a decent job.
And you did. And it's such a natural position to be in. And I thought it was great you coming back into the stadium and getting to see you again. But then getting to players, you're talking about the players, their parents are hearing, you're telling their stories and their backgrounds. And I think it's just a great perspective to hear it from that direction.
Well, not everybody gets to do this. And I know when you're in it, you don't realize how special it is to a certain extent, because you're competing, you're working hard, you have a drive, you have an end goal in mind. But when you're done playing, your perspective changes, not in a bad way or a better way. It's just because you're no longer playing, you just naturally have this different perspective. So getting to share that and maybe add some insight to what actually goes on to the common fan, or the parents hear a different perspective. If it was good, I still do it to this day. I do it here in Round Rock. I know there's not a season going on now, but I'll normally do 20, 25 games a year out of the home games here in Round Rock. And it's still fun. I enjoy it.
Well, Val, Adrian has been doing with all of our guests here a 1 minute kind of quick answer. What are you calling it, Adrian? I got my stopwatch ready though.
Okay, it is called Rapid Fire, and today is Rapid Fire with Val. Okay. And here we go. What is your favorite fruit?
Orange.
Favorite band?
Wow, that's a tough one. Say Bon Jovi.
Favorite color?
Blue.
Favorite NFL team?
New York Jets.
Baseball team?
New York Yankees. Sorry.
Oh, that's a big turn. A favorite stadium that you have gone to?
That I've gone to?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a tie. Yankee Stadium, Camden Yards.
Favorite ice cream flavor?
Cookies and cream.
TV show?
Seinfeld.
Comedian?
It's now Sebastian Maniscalco.
Oh, I'll have to look him up. Have you seen him live?
Yeah, he's like, yes.
Okay, I'll have to check that out. Coldplay or Nickelback?
It's a toss-up. I don't listen to either one a lot, but I probably listen to more Nickelback than I did Coldplay.
All right. Well, great job.
There we go. 1 minute on the
dot. Having you on here.
Really? All right.
Now, do you watch Survivor? I just have a quick side question.
We don't watch a ton of TV other than sporting events. Now, nothing's really on now. We watch more movies than television,
Okay.
DVDs, Netflix, more than TV shows and reality.
So the reason I brought it up, side note, I've got to bring this up. I've never won it before. We play a Survivor fantasy. And okay. Adam and I are in league. There's about 9 of us, and I won it. So I know you don't watch the show, but last night Tony won. It was a very good season. It was the best of the best. And Tony finished first, and Sarah finished in 4th. And I actually picked them to finish 1st and 4th. So
wow. So
a little bragging right. But Adam did have Sarah in the mix.
I did. now that we've got two champions. I got to get my Queen music back up. We got two champions here with us today. Val, thank you so much for being with us. Congrats on winning, and it's great to see that you're doing so well.
Well, I appreciate it, and the fact that, again, I was even nominated, and all the guys that were in there, just looking through the list, you see all the names, guys that had obviously much longer major league careers than I did, and more success in the game after their time at Bowie. Just to be a part of that conversation is an honor in itself. But to make it that far and to go through the entire bracket, man, I'm extremely humbled. I think my text to Phil when he told me about it was, "You got to be kidding me." How in the world did that happen? But here we are, and I'm extremely grateful to everybody who voted and thought of me in that way.
You're a fan favorite. We all like you, and you're just an amazing, great person. And that's how you win, by being a great person.
Well, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Most definitely. Thank you, Val.
Adam, Adrian, thank you so much.